say what you want to say. Don't say what you don't want to say. But like you were talking earlier, truth is a powerful thing.
It is. It also gets you killed.
Let's just start where were you born? Where were you raised?
I was born in Chamblee, Georgia, which is, I think it's about 150 miles outside of Fort Gordon, which is Augusta. I hated the South, except for Florida. After my dad got discharged from the Second World War, my mom was a nurse. She took care of him. We ended up in Fort Pierce, Florida. And then he ended up coming up to Georgia to do technical school there. After that, we ended up in Dayton, Ohio, and he went to work for the post office. But my grandfather had a farm in Kentucky. I love this guy, my hero. So he had 50, 60 acres, but he used a one-row push plow. And I was talking to some kids here in the library, and they're high school kids, they just don't believe this. For one thing, there's nobody that lives in this country that doesn't have a toilet, a freezer, a refrigerator, running water, lights, all that crap. They just wouldn't buy this. So I spent a lot of summers with him until he died. And he's the one that gave me my nickname, which kind of stuck, and I hated it. But I learned a lot from him as far as character and what work meant and love of the land and how you change it but don't kill it. Because no matter, I can just play around in grass, man, and just feel way better. But anyway, my mom and dad, I think, were addicted to whatever was coming down the pipe. Drugs, alcohol, and she never quit using when she was pregnant. And they were so far out. I had to learn everything about life. So I had to learn it myself. Emotionally, they weren't teaching me how to deal with anything.
Because they were addicted, you're
saying? Yeah, and she could get fucking brutal. Can't say that word? She could get fucking brutal. She put a pistol in my head one time and pulled the trigger. And it was one of those old cheap 25 automatics with a clip you put in. You could shoot 25s through it, little short things, 22 long rifles. I believe it shot 5 different rounds, but when you got up into the rifle rounds, it tended to jam a lot unless you know how to do it. So it jammed. Being the good kid I was, I explained that to her. That just pissed her off even more. So she put a bunch of water on the stove to boil. Well, I'll just burn you to death. I'm trying to figure out, what the fuck did I do? I couldn't figure out why she was so mad at me. I wasn't scared. I just couldn't figure out why. In every school, it didn't matter where I went, people looked at me different. Always felt different. Counselors at school would, yell at me, you stupid fucker, you ain't gonna do nothing. You won't be able to learn, you won't be able to work. It's just weird. I never fit in anywhere. I didn't even fit in my family. I always felt different outside of them. I always wondered why people asked me what nationality I was. I never could figure that out, but I do now. It just kept getting... What the funny thing is, I had an understanding from my mom, what she was going through, and I can't tell you how I got it, where it came from. I just don't know. And I could tell when she was going. And when she was going, the neighborhood shut all their doors. They were scared to death of her.
When she was gone?
Yeah, she would go in her mind. She was fighting something that she couldn't beat. And there was something being hidden from me my whole life. I always knew there was.
And you never found out?
I don't know one fact about her. Nothing.
Do you have any siblings?
I had a brother that lived here about 2 blocks that way, and he died of lung cancer August 2016. I helped take care of him.
So you and your brother were raised with your mom and dad in Georgia?
Well, yeah, if you call that being raised. But he went to Vietnam like so many times that the commanding officer said, "You ain't going no more. That's it." So they sent him. I think he went like 6 times or something. But he was a hateful person, man, all the way to the end. And he hated me because his wife had invited me for dinner, and I said, "Well, you know, I'm bringing my buddy who was black." And he hated that. He was just I never met anybody more racist than him. Anyway, the more time went on, the more brutal she got. And it got to the point where my uncle was a fireman in the Dayton Fire Department. And she couldn't no longer get up and cook. I mean, she's just out. I don't know if she was dope sick or just drunk or what. So I turned the gas on the oven. I was going to throw some biscuits in and make them. I forgot that I didn't have a match. So it took me a long time to find them, and it blew up my face. Well, I had 1st and 2nd degree burns from my waist, burned my hair off, but I couldn't go to the doctor. I wasn't allowed to go to the hospital.
How old were you?
I was 8. So I just had to suck it up. But I didn't cry, because I knew if I drew attention to myself with that, it was going to get way worse. So I just kept my mouth shut. I found a bleach bottle and filled it full of cold water, and I'd walk around the neighborhood. And this lady that lived across the street, about 3 doors up, she goes, "Look at what she's done to him now. She's going to kill this kid." And I'm surprised she didn't. But I never hated my mother. I still don't. Never did. I'll explain that more later, but I don't know where that understanding for her came from. I just don't know.
Where was your dad in all this?
Hanging out with his buddies at work, getting high, drunk, whatever they were doing. He just walked in the door that night and goes, "Well, you dumbass, bet you won't do that again, will you?" That's about all he said. I think I remember him talking to me about 3 times my entire life. That was one time, and it was never over 2 sentences. That was it. Now my mom, I ain't ashamed to admit I'm a mama's boy. I love my mom, even to this day. And I went to camp. I was determined to not be like them. And when I found out who is my ex-wife now, was pregnant, I was freaking the hell out, because I thought, shit. I was so scared I was going to end up doing something like them, but I didn't. So that chain got broke right there, and that was a relief. And then I went to like 5 years of counseling and got to be friends with this guy. And he said, one day I went in for an appointment. He goes, "Man, you got to find somebody else. I can't do nothing else for you. You've done what I asked you to do. You've always been here, never complained. How about her? You could go see her." And I took a look at her. I go, "I'd just be coming to look at her, so what's the point?" He said, "Well, just, relax. You did all right. You're doing good." But something made me want to come down to Seattle and see my mom. And I walked in the door, and I just never planned this, didn't know it was going to happen. I asked her to forgive me for being such a bad kid. And she'd been on Thorazine for like 10 years. And I could see the thing about that drug is they disappear, kind of. It's like they're in there but ghosted. But I seen she came back, smiled, I seen her eyes. All that guilt, I know she carried a ton of guilt for that. So I know she got a lot of peace out of that. I did. It's like having 250 pounds of skin lifted, it just like fell off. It was the most incredible feeling I'd ever had in my life. Haven't had one since, not even close to that. But I was glad that happened, that she got some peace too. Because whatever happened to her, for her to do that to me, had to be pretty bad.
Yeah, that's some insight.
And that's why they're hiding so much bullshit. And I don't know why. And I want to know why. And I never could figure out why I'd watch guys doing a war dance and why I would get so proud and cry. And I just felt like a different person. I just knew, I always felt like that she was, you could look at her and you could tell You know, she was Indian descent. Um, I'm proud of that, but I want to know more. You know, I don't know nothing, nothing. I don't know how to start it, where to go. I talked to my friend that's, you know, so I came up with this idea of doing a mural on a van where it's like a guy in a bonnet, and it's going to have the guy doing the entire war dance around the portrait. It'll ghost where it's like bone, and then it'll mist and come back with the portrait again. I just thought that'd be really cool. And the other side's going to be my mother doing the same thing, a different dance, but we were trying to figure out how to do this. And so I thought, well, I'll just download an app, do the art that way, and then it's not that hard to do. I used to do Logic Control. It's a little harder to do than I thought, but he wants to do it all freehand. I said, well, cool, go ahead, do it. But I don't think we can ghost it quite the way you're thinking that is. So I'm hoping that leads me somewhere where I can figure out what happened to her.
You want to know your family heritage.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's side, it goes all the way back to the 1600s. It's in the Library of Congress. It's in the Mormon garage, whatever they put that thing in. I always wondered why Mormons kept chasing me around the country. I mean, they do, they chase you around. We'll get you down that church. I just never wanted, I never fit in church. But I could always, my mom was like, they'd go to that kind of church where they pick up deadly snakes, and I'm like, I want the hell out of here. What a scary ass thing. But she wasn't afraid of it. But I could always be in between, I swear it's like I'd be in the two realms, like the death side of life and the living side of life. Even as a little kid, I could see spirits that were dead. I mean, I felt them next to me. I mean, scared the crap out of me.
So Keith, you were speaking of kids. You have a son or a daughter?
Two. I have a son and a daughter.
Tell me about them.
So anyway, I had this lifelong battle with chronic pain in the back, and I worked as long as I could. I swear to God, my whole life was in family, those kids, and I could have been done better by my ex-wife. So I'm not gonna say it's her fault. It just didn't work. But my kids, and that was the worst time for her to do what she did. Because my daughter was pissed. She was having a hard time. She's 12 years old. She wanted me there, and I wasn't. And I also didn't want her to know I was homeless, so I never said anything. Some people think that was a mistake. I don't. And if I had to do it again, I don't know if I would or do the same thing or not. I just didn't want to stress her out anymore.
So you went from marriage in that family, wife with 2 kids, to homelessness?
Yeah, I lost the home, couldn't work anymore, ended up with $7 million worth of back surgery. Well over a year total in the hospital up at Harbor View. They were so glad to get rid of me.
So what year was this when you...
August 23rd, 2014 is the start date, and I went to the end of about 2018, and the longest I went without an operation was, I think, 9 months. So in 1 week I had 3. I ended up with a staph infection in my spinal canal. Plus I used to sneak off the ward and run down the corner and hang out. That really pissed them off. They don't like that because they don't know where you are. But there's nothing to do there. And I just got tired of being in a hospital. I don't like sitting around. I got to do something.
So how old are your children now?
They're in their 30s. So, I mean, they both are successful. They're both married good, I'm assuming. I haven't talked to them in quite a while. I mean, I got quite a few grandkids that live 50 miles from me. I've never even talked to or seen. I don't even know if I'd recognize my own kids anymore. They just, when we split up, they were old enough to know. They were 10 and 12. They knew the truth of what was really going on. I was not a heroin addict beating the hell out of their mom, and they knew that. But for some reason, they wanted to back her up. So, so she's spreading this. So she's dating her, I don't know, stepsister's husband. I think she got married. I don't know. Anyway, somehow that he was related to her. And so I'd stop and get coffee on the way to work, and this guy goes, "No, your wife's cheating on you, right?" I go, "What are you talking about?" And he told me about this. And I gotta admit, I wasn't even mad about it. It's like I was actually kind of relieved. I just didn't want to lose my kids. That's all. Forget the house. I mean,
So we got that taken care of separate. That was good.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the kids.
yeah, that's all I cared about was my kids. I don't care about the house. I can get another house. Making money's easy. But I had no education. I mean, I didn't pass any grade through school. So I had to, but I was lucky enough to meet this teacher in the 5th grade in English. That she got me to learn to read to the point where I loved it. And it was a lifelong thing. That is the only thing that carried my education through. That in itself, if I wouldn't have met her, I wouldn't have been too well off. I mean, I could make good money. That's not a problem.
It's amazing that you remember you were in the 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Just one person made such a big difference.
Yeah, I kind of had the hots for her too. I think I had a big crush on her, but she just thought, you know, when she was having this, I mean, you were just like part of that story. And God, I love that. And I just kept doing that. And the stuff I wanted to do for work, usually you could not, well, you wouldn't get hired unless you had at least some kind of 2-year science degree. Well, if that includes math and all that crap, I can't do that because of the learning disability. I can't do English. It just doesn't make sense to me. Until I got older, where I learned that you can control your environment. Your self-talk is what's going to either take you up or down. You're either going to have a good life based on how you deal with the shit you go through in life. And it's up to you. We all have free will. But I have to start controlling this. And once somebody taught me that, I started learning. And man, I had help from hundreds of people I never met. I had guys teach me how to work, what it meant to work, what's the rewards of work. It was great. And I wouldn't have got where I am today without that. Why I'm still stuck out here, I don't know. I mean, I get, you know, my retirement. Maybe there's some reason I'm supposed to be out here.
Tell me more about that.
It sucks,
How
man.
long have you been out here?
Probably going on 15 years. And if I'm helping somebody, like my friends, in any way I can, I always pick one person a month and always do something for them, no matter what it is. But I'm tired of people, they run way out and past me with their dog. I'm not a disease. They care less about, you can't judge somebody for being out here because you don't know what the fuck they've been through in life. So don't judge them. Stop, get to know them. Why are they here? Sure, there's people out here because they just want to get fucked up all the time. But not everybody's that way. And it's changing the whole, but if we as the homeless community need to stop fucking tearing the goddamn community apart. We need to start being more responsible, or it's going to blow. And I've seen, you know, stuff's happened already. But we got to be responsible too. And this, why isn't the city responsible? Why do they make it possible for a guy way down in Florida to hear, oh, go up to Seattle, there's soft touch. You can get a couple $100 a month in food stamps, and if you work it right through, you can get up cash money with it. Now, I'm not going to say how to do that, but it's so fucking easy. Where's the accounting of that? Where is that black hole? Where's the money? I mean, if I was paying that kind of tax, I'd want to know where it is. Where is it? And if it is going somewhere it shouldn't be, then they need to be held accountable. If they have to go to prison, so be it. But I haven't met anybody that's been
Seems frustrating.
it's real fucking frustrating. So don't
You know, you touched on this a little bit. What would you want the people of Seattle to know?
I can afford my own housing. I don't want your food stamps. I don't want anything from the city. You can take that stuff and give it to somebody else. That's about as polite as I can put it. I never have taken it. I don't want it. If I need something, I'll go work for it. And if you're going to continue to treat me like shit, at least throw $20 down when you pass by and throw shit at me. I mean, it's just, give me a little something. I don't want no money. I don't want anything. I'll pay my own rent. Just get off my back. That's all. Give me a break. Give my friends a break. I mean, it's like, we're not a disease. I can't even get an apartment right now because I did find 2 I could get, and they called me back and said, well, 1 in May and 1 in April. Which I'm fine. I know I'm patient. I can wait.
It sounds like you just want respect as a person.
I just want them to know I'm not taking none of their shit. I'm not taking their money. I don't want it. I never have. Tell the city council to give it back to you because I don't need it. But get on my ass about it and ask them where it is and give us an accounting, not mouth it, numbers on paper. We're not. Because they're going. You can't tell me they're putting billions in. They're not going to solve something where people are pocketing millions of dollars. Or you'd be stupid to. Well, I don't know if you'd be stupid, but it ain't going to. This ain't no major. This ain't a space shot, people. It's about people that are greedy and put millions of dollars in their pocket. Wake up. I mean, that's what it is, really. So why fix it? That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. But something's wacky here. So this system does not work, and it doesn't work for homeless people to. I hate that when they go and destroy somebody's property. What the fuck are you thinking? Don't do that shit. People work for that. Don't fucking tear their property up. Old school boys, you get up in the morning, you sweep it off with a piece of cardboard, whatever, and you're gone. You don't leave shit laying all around and take shits in the street. That is pissing this community off. And they've had it. They're tired of it. Just like anybody else would be. Just like we're tired of being treated a certain way, they are too. Wake up. We have to wake up on both sides. This country is being overrun with drugs, and we've been taken over without one rifle shot, not one gunshot. We're losing, and we're going to lose this fucking place big time. Because there's going to come a point where you're going to have to choose A or B. Who are you going to follow? And I don't want to end up being back with this Nazi mentality of thinning out the population with drugs. Well, they're a little wacky. Let them go ahead and die. I mean, it's sad when young guys, 20s, early 20s, on a city bus, smoking fentanyl, on a city bus with old people, whoever's around, they don't give a shit. And they're gonna die. And a lot of them did. I've lost many friends around here. It's like, I couldn't even come up with a fucking number. It's in the hundreds. And I guarantee you, the city of Seattle is not telling you the truth about the number of people dying out here. They're just not. Because it scared the shit out of you.
Keith, I hope your story helps connect the people who have homes and who do not have homes. And I appreciate you sharing.
And it's not about the home either. it's about, home's where the heart is, I guess. But goddamn, I didn't create this problem. I worked for years and years. I did work that you people haven't even thought about doing. Don't come down. Don't judge me so hard. I didn't do anything wrong. I did what I was supposed to do, and it didn't work. The system is fucked up, but we can, if we work together, change it. But if people are going to keep doing it with money, and I don't want to get on my soapbox, but it pisses me off. People don't even ask, where in the fuck is that money going? If you're putting aside billions and now they want to tax them again, where's the housing? I don't know anybody that just went right up to housing. Do you? I don't. I'm going to New Mexico. I need a vacation.
Me and you both, man.
All right, brother.
Thanks for sharing your story. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.